A 60% average is needed to get into Fanshawe, whereas a low to mid 80 is needed to get into Western. In the USA, 85% of people graduate high school, but only 30% graduate post-secondary. In Canada, only 80% of people graduate high school, but 53% graduate post-secondary. Stanford News says that pressure for good grades often leads to high stress and cheating. 95% of people on debate.org think that schools put too much pressure on students.
Do you feel pressure to get high marks?
Yes. Yes, personally, because it's really important for me to get into the university program that I want to apply for.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I feel like everything that you do in high school depends on university and college.
Yes.
Yes, I feel pressured in every grade to get high marks.
I do feel pressure to get high marks.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I definitely feel the pressure.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I do. Like a lot.
Yes. From our parents and me from her. Mostly from myself.
Yes.
Yes, I do feel pressure to get high marks because your future depends on how you do in school, and you need a high average to get into a good school and get into the programs you want to.
Getting good marks is pretty much like what everyone's goal is. I'm really pressured when it comes to getting high marks.
Yes, because I need marks to get into schools and I want to go to an American school, so they take higher averages.
What's a good average to you?
I think like 85 and up. It would have to be a 90 because that's the minimum I need to get into the program.
90 is a good average.
85.
Probably 80.
80, 85.
80 is a 90.
About an 85.
99 to 100.
Probably an 85 because that's what I need in order to play sports still.
I'd like to get above a 90 average.
Above an 80.
Above an 85.
90, 92. Anything better than hers.
88 or 90.
92 or 93.
85 and up.
Around 85.
An 85, probably a 90.
Who pressures you the most to get a high average?
My parents. My mom. My parents, because other than me, they're the ones that care the most.
My parents.
I know a lot of people would say their parents pressure them, but for me, I feel like it's not my parents. I feel like it's the teachers that are pressuring me and the whole system, because I feel like to get into where you want to go in the future, you have to have those high marks.
Probably myself.
My parents obviously push me to get a high mark so I can do good in life.
I think my parents pressure me the most to get a high average because they want me to be successful in life.
Probably myself and my parents.
I think I get the most pressure from myself. I put it on myself. My parents care about my marks, but I think I bring it on myself.
My parents, mainly because they're all like really smart.
Mostly my parents.
Probably myself and my teachers.
Myself.
Probably myself and my parents.
My mom.
Usually, most of the time, my teacher and my parents, but a part of it's myself.
Probably myself, because it's something like I'm ultimately responsible for getting myself into college, or university, so I want to get the high marks so that I can get in.
What age or grade did you start feeling pressure for high marks?
I would have to say grade 10 because grade 9 was sort of an introduction year and grade 10 is where everything started to matter a little bit more.
9 and 10, it was a real rush, it seemed like everything hit me at once and it was sort of hard.
Probably grade 10.
I found grade 8 is when I started to feel pressured because I realized that I'm going into high school and that's when marks start to count towards real life.
Grade 9 because first year of high school.
I started feeling pressure around grades 7 and 8. That's when you need to pick up the habits that you're going to have for high school.
Grade 7.
About grade 5, when you start to go on heavier topics.
I started feeling pressure for high marks in and around grade 7.
Probably grade 1.
Probably grade 10 when I tried figuring out what I wanted to be.
Well, in elementary school, I was like pressured to get high marks, but I think more in high school.
Not till like grade 6.
Like 3.
Probably like grade 5, grade 6. Yeah, around there.
Probably grade 7 and 8, mostly grade 8.
Probably grade 6.
Grade 9.
Probably in high school is when I started.
Grade 10.
Grade 5, because it was like the year before middle school. So that's like when everything started to count.
Do you feel pressure to get good grades at school?
Yes, because my parents and my teachers and my peers both put a lot of pressure on me to get good grades and try and succeed.
Junior year, it's especially all about the grades because that's what colleges are really looking at. So like this year, it's definitely a lot more pressure because this is one of the main years that they look at. And you just want to get into the best college possible, so you need to achieve the best grades possible.
Getting good grades is extremely important. I mean, the colleges look at the letter grade and percentage grade and not your actual knowledge in the head. So what's written down on paper is what matters to the colleges, so it's what matters to us.
Explain the pressure you feel to get a high average.
I feel quite a bit of pressure to get a high average. Like, it's important to me to get into university, and like some people not so much, but I think most people it is pretty important to have a high average.
Yeah, these days all courses here at university are at least like 80. There's a lot of pressure to do well in every single course.
Do you feel rushed to make a career choice?
Yes and no. Like, I feel like I found what I want to do, which is business, so I didn't feel that rushed just because I've kind of been leading up to it since grade 9, but some people have no idea what they're doing still. So.
Yeah, like in grade 10, like you basically make a choice, like are you going to take business courses or sciences courses?
As Viking 101s, can you explain how grade 9s are adjusting?
I feel like they're adjusting pretty well. Like, a lot of them have a lot of trouble just with the homework load, but overall they do quite well in their courses, the majority of them, and those who don't, that's why we're here to kind of help and support them.
Yeah, a lot of them are struggling in math, but that's about it.
Do you see an increased amount of stress on students from grade 9 to 12?
Yes. Maybe that's based on because of who I teach. So I teach grade 9, 10, 11. But then also seeing and being down here, I can definitely see a lot more stress on the grade 12s as they get going. They're worried about university, college marks.
Do you think that 4 years is enough for students?
I think it's enough for a lot of students, but not everybody. And thankfully, we have the opportunity for some students to be able to come back for an extra year as a victory lap, but not all students need it.
Do you have any advice for students that are feeling pressured?
That would be plan ahead. I know it sounds cliche, but use your time wisely. Break down the projects when you first get them and see what you can do early on and kind of tackle a little bit by little bit. And so then when the crunch happens at the end, it's not nearly as big of a crunch as what it would have been.